Orisa as well. And indeed, they did eventually take that against Winstrike on Numbani with the Orisa. I think Progi's probably one of the better Orisas as well. Question is, how are they going to combine with a Holt? That really can determine what is a good Orisa team from a bad Orisa team, or like a fairly moderate Orisa team, is how they combine with the Holt. Usually you're going to try and combine it potentially with a concussion grenade from Sardis.
Yeah, what's quite interesting about that combination too is you can use the Holt to pull people into a trap. Yeah, if a trap is nearby, for example, Progi could step back. If people are just trying to peek on top of that ledge, you pull them in with the Holt, and then they get stuck in the trap. Additional damage from the junk rat mines. Could be pretty bad news. Winstrike, let's talk about their comp though. They're going full dive, but however, they're running the Moira instead of something like an Ana this time.
Going to see Main potentially invest for Fade to try and join his tanks as they move forward, but Main's taking a huge amount of damage, and Sharik's going to be tanking some as well as he moves forward. Halted back up is Chow, and now we're going to have to take cover while Zik decides where he wants to take his next engagement.
Man, that's a rough comp to run into if you go full dive. Unfix and Kenzie going to have to be uber careful. Progi, everybody just ran past him. He's like, I guess I'll shoot you in the back. And good shooting as well. He actually took out Chowsbeck and Sharik. You can't ignore Progi that much. A Holt from onto Main does send him reeling though, as Kenzie is going to have to escape as well. Ascoft is going to find the kill onto Unfix, so the reset for Winstrike.
And from Kenzie's perspective here, the back left is where Hidan's holding himself, because of course he is basically solo healing. Ascoft will throw him an armor pack whenever he is jumped upon by the Winston, but he's mostly playing around a hacked health pack that Zik has hacked, and that means that he is going to be getting about 35 or 37.5 HPS as it gets 75 healing every 2 seconds when it respawns, and of course no one can steal that away from him. Only he can pick it up, or any of his allies can pick it up.
Nice initial boot from Tech36. Didn't quite get Sharik off the ledge, and you see Kenzie now. Yep, just looking at Progi, but you have to be careful. There's an Orisa by your side, there's a Brigitte by your side. There's the Supercharger really early on, a big EMP as well, but Supercharger ends up getting taken out by Unfix. But problem is, the damage is already done. Sardis was able to throw out a few mines. That'll be Ascoft, and well, Sardis just cleaning the rest of them up. Again, playing around that small health pack like you were saying.
Winstrike here not having a huge amount of success with that dive. Unfixed almost towards yet another blade, and we'll have to see if that will be very valuable. But Sardis, he's already putting himself in a safe position from where he can use that tile with pretty, what I'd call impunity, Jaws, of course. He has actually set up a concussive mine in there, and why not? Because he's going to retain the charge, he's going to regain that by the time that he is going to leave his hidey hole, having used his tire.
Wow, Sharik's already dead. Okay, looks like Zig's actually got the hack on him, and he was just kind of left in the open, and that's Progi's hail of bullets did enter his skull. So that will be him resetting. Unfix does have a blade though. They have the pulse bomb too. They have the tools that they need, but HSL have got a couple of their own. They've got the trance in order to mitigate that blade damage.
And crucially, Hidan still has that rally armor under the shields, which is going to make him very hardy in the face of danger. Sharik's only going to do half DPS to him, about 30 DPS that can come through from that Winston. But for now, he's going to be pushing himself onto a point and trying to contest that. They've got themselves a tick and a half right now, George. The question is, can they secure the other half?
Looking for the pop.
Not quite.
Okay.
Weak arm.
Yeah, you need to work on your throwing arm, Kenzie. You got on the Mabe, the Tracer is going to take out Ascoft. Okay, he's found one pick initially. There's the Transcendence. That's what they needed to burn here, because Unfix still has that blade available. There'll be a sound barrier used as well to make sure they're all alive for the initial push, or the next push, I should say, as Main gets taken out with a tire.
Unfix is going to use his blade here. He is up against the fortified Orisa, so he's only doing 60 damage per slash, and I do think that could have probably been better used to try and capture momentum on point B.
I do think so myself as well. Now, Ascoft finding another kill, you can see, getting taken out here, won't be able to escort his people from spawn, but Doomfist for Sardis now. Forgoing the Junkrat, wants to get back to the point ASAP. They still see a fight worth winning as the Coalescence coming through as well, making sure Ascoft gets killed very early. And yeah, no one's really entering this point now. They're taking a whole bunch of damage and a whole lot of healing coming onto the rest of Winstrike members as well. They managed to cap in the nick of time, and 4 minutes now remain in the time bank.
I really do not understand some of the investments made there by HSL. Ascoft managed to use his rally. I guess he wanted to swap over to the Lucio. Tech36 used his self-destruct, maybe wanted to stall out, but he died to 3 people because he only had the 150 HP and they didn't really get zoned out all that far. But now Winstrike, they've decided they're going to swap up their comp. They went over to that dive ball combination, but now it's over to the classic, well, classic mountain goats, 3-3s, whatever you want to call it.
Classic reindeer. That's what it is. It's the reindeer comp. What did we call it before?
We called it winter goats.
Winter goats, yeah. Or winter goats or reindeer, whatever you want to call it. Still Winstrike are going to move in. That's going to be a big wall from Kenzie to try and isolate Progi. And isolate him he does as Shark ends up finding the pin against that wall. I didn't think Progi saw that behind him. I'm not going to lie to you. Askoff ends up going down. Silas is going to fall. And Eng is going to fall as well. Not a massive loss for Winstrike. They're still able to get onto that point. And Xiao's going to be able to charge up with Tech 36 mech here.
Indeed he is. He's going to quickly get some of that Graviton Surge charge, but Tech 36's demake before too much of it can come.
Ooh, that was a beautiful wall. Progi actually gets halted by the wall, can't get the charge damage off onto Shark, who almost has that Shadow online. A Transcendence and Winstrike to keep them all alive on the point, and the rally as well piled on top of. A Graviton Surge into the mix, doesn't quite find anything as there was no follow-up available, and now Shark can just do so much damage in the front line, just free and easy, just waiting for Progi to come back onto that point in order to lay down that Shadow. But first up, there will be a Transcendence coming through from HSL. A Shadow landed on top of a grab. Shark finds 3. You say LOL, but Progi's going to go down. The rest are going to follow him, and that should be Winstrike claiming the point.
Silas with the solo rally here, going to be quickly dispatched, as is Tech 36. With 2 minutes and 22 left on the clock, Winstrike will complete Horizon Lunar Colony. HSL once again on their map pick, a little bit flummoxed on their first defense, but we have seen impressive offenses from them as well on Umbani. We'll have to see if they can once again capture that magic on Horizon Lunar Colony.
We'll have to wait and see. It's obviously their turn to attack now. 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Pray for 2s. I was in Korean Contenders this morning, actually.
2 points, 2 minutes.
2s. Feels good, man. A lot of 2s on the board. We'll see if HSL can match that time bank, if they can find the second cap as well. Winstrike, I wonder what they're going to do on defense here, because they could play this Kenzie May again. They could do that, or they could run something a little bit more aggressive with the Genji as well. Genji, fairly good on this map when it comes to high ground. If HSL did want to run a tanky comp, can just lay down the Shark and fire from a range, and then go in with the blade.
But May's obviously a lot more effective against tanks like a Reinhardt, where they don't have a vertical potential to escape from that wall. Because obviously, if you wall behind a Reinhardt, he can walk backwards, but he's just walking into that wall. But if you wall off a Winston when he engages, if he doesn't engage with leap, he can just leap upwards and air control himself back behind that wall and be pretty clear of danger, and then make a second engagement whenever Kenzie does not have that wall available when it dissipates. So I have to see if HSL opt to put Progi on that Reinhardt, but I do imagine he will be sticking on this Winston. It's been serving him well thus far.
Yeah, Shark's going to stick on a Winston of his own, and Kenzie is going to be playing that May. Okay. No damage drop-off. A few patches ago, May did receive that small buff. So she is able to just ping people from a range. That is the...
Snowball, speaking of ping, Snowball's bad at Pong.
It is very bad. It just got to hit him in the head. He's like, stop it.
Headshot.
At least May didn't like a bat Snowball around with
you
the
know,
little
it's actually
paddle.
so heartbreaking whenever you eat a blizzard, because you're literally just killing May's best friend. Just into the void.
No, I'm more sad, Harry, thank you.
Yep, you are welcome for that sadness.
Now chat's going to cry. Bible thump all around. HSL going to run the goats, the dive goats with Hidan, not on the Zenyatta. Oh, no. He's on the Moira this time instead. Chow challenging the bottom, though. Zik is extremely low already. He's going to get dove on also by Chow, who kills him with the thrusters. Good bisection there by Kenzie to make sure HSL Esports could not support Zik, and now was just throwing in icicle after icicle at his leisure. And what can really challenge him out here, because of course he doesn't have a huge amount of range damage. Tech 36 can surely throw a few pellets your way, but the damage drop-off from D.Va is immense, as well as the spread really mitigating how many of us will be able to hit a target. And May isn't a huge target to begin with, maybe a little bit more chunky than most of 200 HP heroes, but not a huge amount more. It's 5 people just head first into that wall. They can't really go anywhere, and Winston expending the bubble there is going to be fairly important. Progi's not going to have that for this oncoming fire. It just means they take extra damage, and the extra ult charge does go over the weight of Winstrike. They're going to jump onto the point, and Kenzie's going to attempt to wall off, but for the time being, that coalescence is going to be something Winstrike are going to have to worry about. Shark ends up going down. The Transcendence used ever so late by Main. They're not being able to keep him alive, but they're making sure now the rest of them are alive and well. However, Unfix also falls. Sardis does manage to find that kill. Askoff is going to die as well, but HSL have priority spawns. Main, nowhere near another Transcendence, has nothing to really back him up in the form of tanks. No peel available, and he ends up falling to the dive tanks. And now it is all the stall game for Winstrike as they lay down that Blizzard as well as that sound barrier. Progi caught midway through a leap of the primal rage. 1000 HP quickly will become 0. Did you see that? He froze as he was jumping, and then it got instantly frozen again as soon as he got unfrozen. Kenzie just ending his life rather quickly. Caught on ice. Oh dear, it's kind of frustrating going up against a Mei, and a new Mei as well. The spread from the gun does hit multiple targets now too. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, but let's talk about frustration, Jaws. How can this play into the mental game of HSL? It can be incredibly frustrating playing against a Mei when you lose control of your hero. This time it's a more proactive dive. Progi's not going to actually commit to that though, just scaring main a little bit. But Sharek and Chow are going to be ready to try and ward away HSL with these tank ultimates.
Oh, that's what you wanted to do. Sardis charges straight at Kenzie and kills him before the stun ends up wearing off. Eat and grab potentially. Zik did end up throwing his out, and it's not on the map, so I assume Chow's eating it all up. As a coalescence, what's up again for HSL, cementing them on the point, but again, Winstrike just building up these transcendences so quickly so they can defend with them.
Indeed they can. Zig's going to be trying desperately to build up towards another grab, hopefully one that won't be going into a defense matrix of Chow, but right now, it's Sardis' playground. We're all just living in it.
Oh, yes they are. Sardis has that rally available to him as well. 5-player kill streak, why not? Winstrike, they're going to go back to second. That means HSL are going to get the point. Only a minute left though. That will turn into a little bit more, however.
Will turn into 5 minutes. They will have about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to try and capture a point before they have a lesser time bank than Winstrike. Of course, because Winstrike have more than a minute, if HSL cap in overtime, they will not be given a second attack. They'll have to defend that first 33%. But first, Jaws, they've got to take second point, which is easier said than done. But there are tools in the box to make it happen. Zik's almost got that Graviton Surge, and HSL's got a whole lot more ready to go as well.
Sharek's going to have to be a little bit more careful here. He doesn't have a Zaya at his back. He's going to build up Shadow fairly quickly, though. Kenzie almost has that Blizzard as well. That is not the shield bash you wanted to do right there. Sardis, unfortunately, has to retreat rather quickly. The self-destruct gets thrown in. Tech36 all frozen up, and Hidan bites the dust as well. That'll be the Blizzard coming through from Kenzie. Also, maybe a little bit of an overcommittal. They may have won the fight without it. However, Kenzie building things up extremely quickly.
Kenzie were actually headshotting the Baby Diva when it was frozen. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more in terms of the stagger visuals, because of course, still Winstrike are behind in the time bank right now. HSL still have about a minute and 40 seconds before they do claim equal. So all these little micro plays to play the time bank and make sure that HSL can't take advantage of the time bank advantage they do currently possess would be pretty well advised.
They're going to come around on the right side again. They've got a lot of ults to work with. Hidan normally opens up with the Coalescence first, puts Sharek under a lot of pressure and forced to hold that shield up. There's the wall. Everybody's going to escape from it, and a Coalescence will come out. This time mixed with a Self-Destruct and a Graviton Surge. Is not going to get blocked this time around. Sharek actually facing up to the skies, left his feet completely vulnerable, and him and Eng are going to go down. Progi's going to find another kill on Unfixed, and look at Zig, completely charged up, is ready to just carve his name into the members of Winstrike. Sharek has that beat now on him, and he has got the Shatter. He's going to be able to make it back to point in time, but he gets booped away. The Shatter does end up hitting, but I thought they were on the point as well as Eng gets jumped on, but I think Tech36 actually booped him away.
Great control there from Ascoft and Tech, respectively, to make sure that the members of Winstrike could not touch a point, and it was a clean cap coming through. It does mean they have got a little bit of a greater time bank. So, once again, we see Winstrike playing the pace card, but we know exactly what happened on Mbani. Jaws, it was a full completion with only a minute in the time bank. This time, they got 2-2-2. So, I fear what they may be able to do.
2 points to 2-2 and 2 seconds remaining. Oh, yes, sirree. Winstrike are now going to be on the offense. HSL on the defense. I want to see Progi on this Orisa again. I really like Progi's Orisa. It's been doing a good job thus far, but like we mentioned, the weakness of Orisa is that she can get dove fairly easy. As soon as you put that shield down, more often than not, you're going to get dove straight afterwards. You have to wait until the dive initiates, go golden, hopefully survive the initial onslaught of damage, and then you can replace your shield and help the rest of your team. It's all on Sardis, though, as well, to help them with that protection, that bastion of hope with that trap as well, to make sure any incoming attackers are faked.
Bastion of hope. I really want to see some bastion. We have Casper, of course, on Samsung Morningstar's well-known bastion player. Potentially he could bring it out at some point. But one of the other things you can do to try and counter out an Orisa comp is force a rotation, because, of course, Orisa's most vulnerable while moving, and you can force out rotations by trying to meet people on the point, especially if you've got tanks like Winston, like Diva, which can have that pressure. You can see Zik there, going to be scouting out, seeing what's coming through. Main's going to be swapping over. He sees the Fade come through, and he may well decide to translocate back now or stay in the back line and try and get an early hack onto someone like Eng.
Yeah, you get a little bit more ult charge as well.
Kenzie, not like this.
He was like, I'm going to check the health pack, guys. Instantly dies.
He was checking for Sombras, but he found himself a Junkrat.
Instantly get killed. I was really like, I hate that as a Tracer player. I think everybody does. You get trapped in, you're like, there's a mine under my feet, isn't there?
You got a melee beneath your feet, but mine only has 25 health and your melee does 30 damage, so.
You got a melee your feet?
Yeah, man. You got to punch yourself in the shoes.
If you're quicker than Sardis was, however, this time around, not quite so lucky. Shaq is going to dive up. Once again, Tech36 booping him away, and yep, Hidan. Couple of headshots on the large Winston head is going to get the kill, and that'll be Winstrike just falling back for the time.
Dude, Chow for now, just going to be poking around. There's the Holt, will potentially get hacked. Seems like someone may have been. Kenzie in this case, yeah, going to be the victim of that.
Ouch, not where you want to be if you're Kenzie. I want to see what health pack has actually been hacked here by Z, because again, they are running this solo healer. This is something we saw last week with Hidan on that solo Zenyatta, playing around these health packs and hopefully playing around that armor pack as well coming out from Ascoff. Has to be very careful in his usage of that. If one goes mislaid on someone else, Hidan is pretty much as good as dead.
Sardis now does have both of his mines back. We'll be putting one in the trap, trying to make sure that any of Kenzie's more predictable routes of a flank could be shut down. But Kenzie for now is just going to be rotating a few heroes. Unfixed and Kenzie decided that they want to go for a double long-range hit scan with a lot of shield break potential. Kenzie can deal 190 damage per second, and Unfixed very close to that, about 140 with those arrows. So Progi's shield may not last for a huge amount of time.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more damage as well when those storm arrows come about. There you go, shield destroyed. Can't really take advantage of it just yet. Another person that has a rather large head is Orisa, so you can get a nice couple of clean headshots to end her life very quickly if there is Discord Orb, but there is no Zenyatta on the side of Winstrike.
You need a large head if you're going to fit in the big brain of Progi, currently breaking the shield of Shag, but Tech36 is under pressure, not quite so much as Kenzie though.
Hidan yet again coming up big, finding the first kill. Sardis is going to go down as well, double DPS now falling for each side. So 10 seconds now remain. One thing's going to have to touch this point at some point, although Chow is on the back line. Shag's going to fall once more, another hack coming through from Zik. Eng is going to go down as well. They got a second remaining. Chow, he has to be able to contest this point with this nano, but there isn't many people remaining. There's Main dragged down with the Holt. Chow's going to be there with the damage resistance, but he gets instantly hacked. No defense matrix to speak of, and that's Progi claiming another kill. Zik is going to take out Main, and it is just Kenzie with a hope and a dream to touch the point. They can't even get 33%. The overtime is gone, and that's going to be them now having to defend against 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Best Winstrike can hope for here is a draw, and if it is a draw, they will actually win the series draws, because it means that the maximum number of points that can be scored by HSL will be 1. But HSL, they are in the driver's seat right now. They need 33.3% in order to claim their first win of the series and put us on course for a map 5, which our tiebreaker would be Nepal in that case.
Let's hope we get that map 5. We'll have to wait and see. HSL, they have 3 minutes in the time bank. Winstrike had so many swap-ups in that last offense. They switched to the double shield break, like you said, with the Hanzo and the Soldier. They just couldn't make it stick. You switch that late into the round, you are decimating your ultimate economy.
Yeah, Sardis did get picked off by a quick arrow headshot that did make me squeal like a pig. Doing my best young Roadhog impression.
Young Roadhog.
Yeah, young Roadhog.
With a very, very small baby hook.
Back when he was like a Path Hog.
Path Hog.
Didn't quite become a road just yet.
Not quite just yet.
Path Pig.
Path Pig. That's definitely not what he was called. HSL Esports.
No, it was actually called Maker Rutledge.
Oh, yes. Definitely. I've never followed lore like that heavily. I'm like really bad with the WoW lore as well. Like I've played the game for a long time, since like Burning Crusade, like early Burning Crusade, right? But with the lore, I'm like, oh man, I don't know any of this.
I'm definitely a bit of a lore junkie.
Yeah, that's quite evident. It's coming back, Harry. It was in Season 2, but it's coming back Season 3.
HSL Esports, for now, going to be playing with the dive ball, has been serving them rather well thus far. Zik's going to have 3 minutes and 10 seconds to try and build up towards that Graviton, which could actually end the hopes of Winstrike. But once again, they're moving into that May. Kenzie's going to be sniping from the high ground, can deal up to 150 damage with a nice cool headshot and no damage fall off.
It's so funny watching people running into that wall, man. 5 people just instantly
stuck to it,
getting their head kind of a little bit concussed. Hidan's ultimate charge looking pretty nice though. Shag going really low, receives an armor pack. Not got much health left though. There is the wall, and Zik almost gets frozen up. Use that personal shield to cleanse that slowed movement speed. Kenzie popping that ice block as well. This is your chance to attack the May. Problem is you got another wall to actually deal with. Now that'll be a trade. Progi and Eng going down 1 for 1, but Hidan actually gets the first ultimate of the fight, and it's the Coalescence. More impactful than it is the more anything else right now, and Unfix is going to have to build up the rally fairly quickly also. Everybody's going to be on that point waiting for that armor to come in. Transcendence also available for main. So 2 supports, ultimates already used. Lucio frozen in midair, somehow still defying the laws of gravity. A nice right click there coming through from the Zaya to end the May's life. They're trading evenly 1 for 1, but look at the point percentage. It's going extremely close to being capped here. It's only Chow and Eng left on the point. They're going to have to make sure they get fast picks back. Here comes Sharik. He's going to join the fight once more, and Kenzie's jumped over the Doomfist.
Tech36 coming in on the Wrecking Ball as well, coming in as fast as possible. They're so close to potentially capping this one out, and caught out in the air, Jaws.
Chow is going to go down. Aang just trying to survive for as long as he can. He's doing a good job of it thus far, but the beat might just seal the deal. Zik has jumped onto his own Doomfist as Kenzie and Aang end up going down. It is now only Sharik, nothing left. That'll be 33% captured. Winstrike end up falling, and HSL, they end up still with a hope in the series.
Suffering from some tinnitus from the roar of the HSL side, who are definitely getting wild here, but now they have to deal with a map pick of Winstrike, who will be able to decide between Route 66 and Dorado.
We'll have to wait and see what they want to play. I mean, my mind instantly goes to something like Route 66. You can play a lot of fire there, although you can play a lot of fire on Dorado as well, and Unfixed Fire has been pretty good so far.
Yeah, and you can also play Widow on Dorado as well, and Kenzie is potentially an unrivaled window an unrivaled window, as well as an unrivaled Widow amongst the 12 players we currently have in the lobby. I don't think there's anyone on HSL who can really hold a candle to Kenzie in that particular hero.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere, because map number 4 coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 4 on your screens extremely shortly. Winstrike versus HSL. We just saw HSL take Horizon Lunar Colony. They're still in the series. They could just find themselves a reverse sweep right here.
Winstrike want to lock up the lead as well and claim the series 3-1. To do that, they will be picking our Escort map, which will be our 4th map. But, of course, you can tie up the series if you are HSL. Bring us to that tiebreaker map, which would be Nepal if it was to occur. But first, we're heading over to the sandy deserts of Route 66.
All right, feels good. And this is a map we talked about maybe Kenzie playing a little bit of Widowmaker on, more often than not on the second point rather than the first. You can play it on first, but fairly easy to get dove on, which is the main problem. But we could also see a little bit of fire as well coming out from Unfix. We'll see them on the defense first, so we get to talk about their comp, but HSL are going to be on offense, of course.
Ascot potentially with some shenanigans here, see if he has a symmetric teleport to put Hidan somewhere unexpected, but... Oh, okay.
Oh no. He's going to put Sardis somewhere, something unexpected. This is actually what we saw last week, if you can remember. The Bastion like teleporting around.
Although that was on the offense.
That was. And it was also kind of like, where is the pass? It was.
Didn't work out that well. I think it was Samsung Morningstars who did it.
It didn't work out at all.
Well, it may work out a little bit better on the defense, but then again, Winstrike would be able to mix up their composition. Oh no, Winstrike actually on the defense. I'm just being incredibly silly.
Yes, you are. It's okay though.
I should have bought bamboozle insurance.
They want to get bamboozled by this hog. Not normally seen in 3-3, but this time around, Kenzie's on the big pig man. Does mean he's going to potentially get a cheeky hook here.
Oh, the path pig.
Path pig. Oh yeah, the path pig. I was hoping I'd forget about that one, but
no,
brought it back.
Not on my watch.
All right, okay, well. HSL are going to run Sim, unfortunately, Harry. But they are going to run 3-3, and it will be the Tech 36 Diva you've got to watch out for.
Yes, Ascoft's also claiming some of the high ground, but for now, Kenzie's going to be throwing out that scrap collection.
Yikes. Yeah, Hidan's are going to get headshot by main. The problem with this comp also by Winstrike, think about how much shield break they have. Kenzie just right-clicking into the shield of Progree. His shield is going to be deleted so quickly. Does mean HSL have to be extremely fast in terms of attacking.
So the Zik can be very choice of very places his Gravitons. Doesn't have to worry about that defense matrix just like before.
Nice pull. However, it does get bubbled, and that's a lot of charge now for the Zaya. Oh, Shark does booped into the enemy team and actually gets punished for it. Shield slam takes the kill for Sardis, and Tech 36 is actually taking out Kenzie as well. So, HSL are going to initially find the fight. However, fighting at the doors here does buy a lot of time for Winstrike.
It does, and it buys him some ults as well on the side of HSL. Jaws, Zik ready to go with that Graviton Surge well ahead of Chow. And here it comes out again. Winter Goat, Snoats, free threes, whatever you want to call it. Kenzie's there on the May, but he's going to be behind in terms of generating that ultimate. Doesn't have the whole hog like he would have built up to before. Instead, 6% of the way towards a Blizzard with that passive charge. But Main is ready to answer any incoming aggression with a Transcendence, and Aang will soon be joining in the sound barrier, almost ready.
There's the wall, but the grab's going to come out. Transcendence from Main, self-destruct in the air. Proggy's going to try and get something, but another beautiful boot coming out of Main. Aang, sorry. He's going to make sure he doesn't actually get anywhere near him, and therefore surviving the self-destruct. Chow's built himself up his own Graviton Surge, taking the high ground, and everybody just getting roasted below. Aang takes out Tech 36's mech. It's going to be a nasty stagger on Hidan. They're going to be able to hold the point.
You can see that Chow's learned from his sins. He's definitely being a lot more cautious around Tech, knowing that he will gobble up that grab, give him the chance. He makes sure that he can try and put some extra pressure onto Tech using that laser beam, which cannot be blocked by the defense matrix, meaning that he can very quickly farm up extra damage and extra ultimate charge. Kenzie for now, just going to be scouting out the front, throwing out a few cursory snipes as he prepares to wall off Proggy on the next engagement.
Watch out. You've got to watch 1036. Oh, Proggy heading up on the top of the wall that time. Did you see Aang?
Wowee.
Right across the wall trying to get some poop on
I can do this, guys.
I got it. I'm under attack as he is in the back line a mile away. It's okay though. He's still surviving. Still trying to find another boot. There's the shadow underneath the car. Takes down 4. Proggy's going to die. Kenzie's going to find another kill. Tech 36 donating himself to the wonderful, wonderful scenery of Route 66. And still Chow holding onto that grab.
Going cliff diving or base jumping.
Yeah, go base jumping. That's something I've actually always wanted to do, base jumping. In the squirrel suits.
In the squirrel suits?
In the squirrel suits, yeah, that's base jumping,
Do you mean for wingsuits?
The squirrel suits, aren't they called that?
No. No, they're not. They're called wingsuits.
Okay, well.
Well, you're just going to go dressed up as a squirrel.
No!
Don't worry, guys. I'm pretty sure I can fly. No. Don't worry about the cords or the parachutes. I don't need those. I'm a squirrel.
They're like flying squirrel suits, Harry, is what I meant. There's the blizzard, the snowstorm coming out. I don't even need to commentate that one. They're called swirl suits, Harry. I'm pretty sure. I'll Google it later. We'll settle this after cast.
I know our analyst desk can hear us. I need you to confirm on the desk that they are called wingsuits and that Jaws is just like mammal obsessed right now. Goats, reindeers, and squirrels, all part of Jaws' vocabulary. You can tell a primary school education serving him well, but Time Bank right now not serving HSL well. An early Transcendence, and he's been blowed off as well.
Uh-oh, you can see Aang still in the back line trying to get a cheeky boop. However, Chow now with no grab. Shag's able to build his shatter up. There's a gravitation surge coming through from HSL, but a wall blocking off most of that damage. Still, the Transcendents will come out to make sure they survive through it. Instantly into the beat as well. They've only got 5 seconds remaining, so they can be extremely aggressive. Another wall doesn't quite do all too much, but a shatter certainly did. The self-destruct finds one. Pogi's going to find another, and that is HSL winning the fight on the point, but Winstrike might have an in here. If they manage to get Aang out alive, they could have another touch.
Oh, we haven't got Aang out alive, but Aang has traded his life for a lot of time. And the more time that overtime does continue for, the faster it will tick down if people get off the cart. And there is still time for Winstrike to make an engagement here. They don't have a huge amount of ultimates to do it with, but Chow can quickly build up that last 16% he needs to get the Graviton Surge going. And HSL invested everything in that last fight. The closest they are is 78% towards a Transcendence from Hidan.
Unfix has the rally. However, that's a lot of armor now that HSL are going to have to burn through as the rally. Ain't going fairly low yet. They've had enough of this shenanigans. Kenzie's going to wall someone off. This time it's going to be Progi, but he completely goes back. Denial coming through, I think, from Tech36, eating another ultimate, potentially.
Sharek? Interesting.
Interesting play. All right, okay. He's in the back, and he's dead. All right. Why was he there?
I don't know. He's just going off on an adventure, but right now HSL are going off on an adventure through the backline of Winstrike. One kill after another, and main will be the main prey of Zik as they managed to claim themselves another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It was a stressful time for HSL, Jaws, but now they are back. They've got to center themselves. They've got to find their groove, and they've got to try and bring Winstrike off balance because Winstrike are going to try and freeze them out with this next fight.
HSL have Shatter, however. They just have to make sure they kill Kenzie first, but the problem is that wall is just so deadly when it comes to Progi actually laying that Shatter down. They've got 2 minutes remaining, Harry. They've still got a lot of time left.
Indeed they do. Main is also ready to come over Transcendent should it be required. Everyone on the side of Winstrike can be incredibly aggressive should they so desire.
Nice
can see
headshot.
long range headshot, and there's the wall to try and knock people out.
Beautiful use of the wall. They're actually stopping the Blizzard getting eaten. Still does a damage past the wall, of course. However, the issue is right now that Zed gets jumped on. Progi isolated himself inside the bar. He gets taken out. Tech36 is going to go down as well. And that will be Unfix claiming another couple of kills. That's the problem with that the wall, man. Comes up, can't eat it. Tech36 can't eat it.
Tech36 allowed to escape there and end himself to get that meg back. Some great play from Winstrike to really draw down the time bank of HSL, who were once again in dire straits, Jaws. 1 minute and 20 seconds is all that remains of her, going into a pretty stacked ult bank from Winstrike. 3 ready to go, as well as a Graviton Surge soon to come. Unfix going to get caught out here. He's going to rejoin his team behind the safety of Sharek's shield.
Aang somewhere in the skybox, can't quite see him. He's a flying Lucio right now. Winstrike are going to hold the card inside this time around. There will be the Graviton Surge, straight into the wall though. Haha, can't self-destruct this. The beat comes through too, so as soon as that wall comes down, HSL will face with Sharek and a Shatter. But this time around, hang on a second, Progi lays down his, instantly goes down, and Sharek just shattered into his own wall, I believe. Not entirely sure. The communication is a little bit wonky there, but Kenzie still has that Blizzard. It is still winnable. Main and Kenzie, I take that back actually. Hidan's just he's just popping off. He could just got himself 3 kills. HSL Esports refusing to go down without a fight, have 30 seconds remaining.
And there, Winstrike actually invested both of their support ultimates and a rally as well. So I suppose all 3 support ultimates to try and win out that fight after they've already lost Chow. Of course, Chow and Kenzie do have the Snowstorm ready to go, Jaws, for the Graviton Surge and for Blizzard. But technically, either part of that combo and potentially shut it on down, but they're going to have to try and find a way to mitigate the defense metrics or at least stun the Diva before this occurs.
Focus Tech win the game is on Winstrike's mind. The grab hits the top of the cart and the Blizzard is going to be there as well. Everything's going to get frozen up, but luckily enough, Zik had a barrier for him and Progi to actually escape alive. Sardis not quite so lucky, that wall not doing all too much, and Sarah going extremely low was actually pushed in to the rest of HSL by Tech. Used those thrusters and actually destroyed Progi in the process. Overtime depletes. 1 point on the board for HSL as the time just ticks on over.
Could have been much worse though, Jaws. Is that double Transcendence? No, just one
victory
Transcendence. He turned his voice up to 2.
For 1 to 2.
But yeah, it could have been much worse. There was a potential there for HSL to be held on the first corner in overtime. Luckily, they managed to win out a couple of fights from there, then regain a little bit of time back. 2 minutes 30 was added to their clock, and we'll have to see if there will be a better offense here coming from Winstrike. We do know HSL can be pretty sublime when it comes to this defense, but Winstrike only need to win a couple of fights, maybe 2 or 3, in order to bring themselves to the same point at which HSL found themselves being stalled out.
Well, now it's HSL's turn to defend. We'll see if they do the same thing. I can imagine they're going to hold the gate. It's meta right now to just hold up to the spawn, get at least 3 fights in. Normally, if you hold around the corner on top of the gas station, you do normally get about 2 fights. Depends on how far the cart is actually pushed and when you do decide to jump off the gas station and actually contest the cart. So it's way better for your time bank, and we could see Winstrike and like most other teams right now doing that exact strategy in order to get 3 fights out. Even trying a couple of cheeky things like we saw earlier in the week, that Bastion play.
And when people hold up this close, it's common to see the Novice in the ultimate instead of a Moira coming out, because it means you can try and get that coalescence as early as possible, which is a very good ultimate in this narrow corridor where you can force the enemy team to exist when we're trying to push that cart. And often, you'll just keep playing the Moira here until you're wiped, and then you're going to swap over to the Zenyatta, so you can try and sustain yourself for much longer with a higher amount of healing. The risk that comes attributed to this strategy is that you give away a huge amount more ult charge, especially to Chow and Kenzie, going to be trying to build up towards those all-important Graviton Surge and Blizzard ultimates.
Alright, Eng switching over to the Lucio to speed Kenzie onto the front line and to speed himself onto the back line as well. He's being extremely aggressive on the Lucio. Progi receives that barrier coming through from the Xayah in order to stay alive and not get frozen up just yet, and he's able to swing a fair bit as well. Problem is, Zeke didn't have a personal left, so he's ended up going to go down. That's going to be a pin from Progi to find Unfix, and still the main tanks are alive, but Chow is very high energy and very high ult charge, 80% already, with the Shatter coming through as well. HSL disappear.
Quick work made of HSL right there. We've got to see if Hidan is actually going to swap over from a Moira. Of course, he does still have the Coalescence. Question is, will he want to give that up? I imagine he will, to try and get a bit of extra damage onto Sharek with that Discord Orb, but some people value the Coalescence a little bit better, especially when you're trying to heal up your tanks against the attentions of Kenzie on that Mei. Looks like he will be opting to stay with the Moira. Maybe he's going to try and heal everyone up when they're clumped together with that Graviton Surge, but Chowers, they know that he's going to have that ready because they healed up so much of their D.Va health.
Zik has no real Graviton Surge to speak of. There's a Graviton Surge and it gets eaten again by Tech36. That grab was as non-existent as Harry's Movember mustache. Progi getting pinned to the wall by Sharek, and Sharek now just making sure he can just feed off these grab targets. That's 3 kills, 30% on another Shatter. He's going to have one for another fight for sure. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remain. HSL Esports, they could have one more touch here. They still have the beat and the Shatter.
Sharek there with the backswing to hit her down off the map. In his spare time, evidently getting involved in a little bit of baseball. Winstrike, though, currently moving in towards the conclusion of Point A of Route 66, and HSL are going to opt to take the advancement here, moving in from high ground, potentially they'll leave Hidan up here where he can be relatively safe. In fact, he's actually going to give up for high ground voluntarily.
Zeke's going to get punished here. You can see him going extremely low, and Chow's earned himself another grab over Zeke. The Shatter hits the floor. Chow's going to be the main recipient, but the beat is going to save his life, even through that beat. There's the grab on the wall, into the snowstorm. Sharek just going to find 5 kills. Unfix finishing it off onto Tech36. 4 minutes as he caps first.
Oh, the entire couplet is going to be feeling that one. All the lines put down there by Winstrike and Sharek. That's a whole lot of ult charge right there. Ready to go with the Earth Shatter. Of course, Chow and Kenzie are going to have to respectively build up towards their own ultimates. But HSL, they've got a couple of tools in the box ready to try and make this work. Zik does have the Graviton Surge, and maybe quite hard to mitigate that on the side of Winstrike. We often see Kenzie trying to use the wall here, but if Kenzie tries to mitigate an engagement with the wall, it won't be available to save him from Zik's Graviton.
That's a lot of damage on Progi, going extremely low. There's the grab, there's the self-destruct, the wall's going to come up. Progi actually gets lifted up into the air, so can't actually land the pin. It might not matter though, as Eng and Main go down. Tech36 cleaning the rest up. Heads up play from Kenzie, but the self-destruct was a little bit too much for Winstrike to handle.
Over the course of that fight though, Chow has gained himself a huge amount of charge. Don't catch those mortars. It's too late. He's already got that Graviton Surge. Kenzie's going to be lagging behind, but what I'd like to see here, Jaws, is Sharek attempting to go for the Shield Bash Shatter combo so that he can farm up yet another one by swinging into that Graviton Surge. Ideally, we will see the Earth Shatter first. We'll have to see what will actually occur as HSL Esports once again posit to defend.
Buggy is kind of near his. He might be able to get it in the fight. He goes low, the shadow, the shield comes down. Wrong place, wrong time, Progi. Chow takes the kill. Silas going low. They are still going to die on the point, so they buy some more time, but 3 minutes almost in the time bank for Winstrike. HSL, they've got one more fight left in them.
Indeed they do, and Chow still has that Graviton Surge ready to go. You know what's about to happen, Jaws. The Snowstorm could potentially come through. The Winter Goats, the Reindeer, the Snoats, 3-3s, whatever you want to call it. Winstrike is currently owning it, and HSL may well be running scared, but they've got a huge amount of ultimates ready themselves. The Sound Barrier is there, the Graviton Surge is there, the Earth Shatter is almost as well.
HSL need to win this fight to keep the series going. Zeke has that grab, but Winstrike grabbing them off the point, and the Blizzard is still available. The Blizzard lands on top of the point and the wall to surround everybody else. HSL, they land two big support ultimates on every single member, but Brogy's already dead. He gets frozen up next to the car, and the Shatter's going to strike well and true on top of all of HSL. Kenzie main unfixed, all their names are in the kill feed. That is Winstrike securing the payload, securing the game and the series.
And this, Jaws, may well be such a surprising composition coming out from the side of Winstrike with the May, and this is really where potentially the inability to look back on Winstrike's play could have been very detrimental to HSL, because of course Winstrike not having to play last week because of the forfeit that occurred.
The May was clearly quite a surprise to him. It was definitely a surprise to us seeing Kenzie pull it out on almost every single stage of every single map. It's a cool strategy, honestly. It prevents so much from the GOATs actually working together if you're the other team.
Yeah, it does allow you to also punish positional mistakes, or what you wouldn't call mistakes, but where people are just playing as if they know where they're going to be able to move at their usual speed.
Well, to break down that series a little bit more, we got 3 analysts over on the desk.